Good morning, ma'am.
Morning.
Can you please introduce yourself to the members of the jury?
My name is Kerri and
Ms. Buck, where do you currently live?
just outside Syracuse, New York.
And how long have you lived up there?
I don't know, pretty much my whole life since the time I lived here.
Back in your childhood, did you live with family here in Jacksonville, Florida?
I did.
I'd like to direct your attention to September 27th of 1992. How old were you at that time?
13.
And on that Sunday afternoon, were you in your neighborhood leaving your house?
Yes,
Was that after church that morning?
it was.
Where were you going?
I was going to my friend Tamara's house.
Did she live within walking distance of your house?
A few city blocks, yes.
As you were walking to Tamara's house, did you encounter a man in a van?
Yes.
Could you describe the van to me?
It was a gray van. Had the side windows were tinted. It was a Chevy, I believe.
And the man who was driving that van, describe him for me, please.
He was probably close to 40, shoulder length dark hair, pointy nose.
Did you get a good look at him?
I did.
Did you see his face?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see the man who was driving that van in this courtroom here today?
Yes.
Could you please point him out and describe where he's seated and what he's wearing?
There at that table in the orange.
Your Honor, may the record reflect that the witnesses identified the defendant, Donald Smith.
The record will so reflect.
Ms. Buck, how did the defendant approach you in the van on the street?
He was coming toward me and had stopped. He pulled more toward my side of the road and asked if I knew a girl named Susie.
What was your response to him?
I told him no.
What happened next?
He asked me if I went to Southside Middle School. And I did, but I told him no.
Why did you tell him no?
Because he was a stranger.
Did he ask you if you wanted a ride?
He did.
And what was your response to him?
I told him no.
What happened after you told him no to the ride?
He demanded that I get in the van.
Obviously, you were 13 years old at the time. You described that he was somewhere near 40. If you could, best that you can, describe to the members of this jury how he demanded that you get in the van.
He told me to get the fuck in the van.
How would you describe his voice?
Mean. Scary.
When he said this to you, what did you do?
I ran.
Where did you run?
I headed toward my friend Tamara's house. At the time, it was all I could think of to do.
Did the defendant chase after you in that van?
He did.
Did you try to run to some place to find a place of safety?
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. I tried to run to Tamara's house. At one point, he had cut me off at a crossroad. And I just kept running. And I did make it to Tamara's house, and no one was home. And I pounded on the door, and no one answered.
Eventually, did you try to find safety behind the school?
I did. And
Where
in
that school?
Excuse me?
Where in the school area did you try to find safety?
Behind the school, there was a small playground. And there was a big like a tube slide in the playground, and I got inside.
When you got inside the slide, did you try to conceal yourself, hold yourself under the slide so nobody could see you?
I did. I was holding and pushing out with my hands and my feet inside this.
Did you hear this defendant come after you?
I did.
What did you hear?
I was scared. I was slipping, and I was so afraid I was gonna fall out and he was gonna find me.
Did you hear the van pull up to the playground area?
Yes.
Did you hear him say anything?
He said, I know you're in there, you little bitch, and I'm gonna find you.
Did you try to remain hidden?
I'm sorry, what?
Did you try to remain hidden in the slide?
I did.
How long do you think you were inside that slide hiding from this defendant?
It seemed like forever.
At some point, did you hear the van drive away?
I did. I still stayed in there a little longer after I heard it drive away.
When you felt it was safe, did you run for help?
I did.
Where did you go?
My sister had another friend on a street close to the school, so I ran there.
And once you got there, did you call your family, your mother, your sister?
I did.
And did you all contact the police?
Yes.
Given how quick and how fast this happened, were you able to get a tag number on September 27th of 1992?
I wasn't. I was just trying to get away.
Did you come to see that van and that man again in your neighborhood in the weeks that followed?
Yes.
When did you see him?
He was outside of my house.
Did you tell your mother?
I did.
What did you all do?
We got in the car and went to look for him to get the license plate number.
Were you able to get it?
Yes.
When you drove after him, did you make eye contact with this defendant?
I did.
Did he recognize who you were?
He did. He looked at me like he was going to kill me.
Did you and your mother then contact the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office and provide them with the tag number?
We did.
At some point in the days that followed, did you meet with a Detective Parker from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office?
Yes.
And did you tell him what happened?
I did.
And did he provide or show to you what is commonly referred to as a photo spread or a series of photographs?
Yes.
Were you able, back in 1992, at the age of 13, to identify the person who did this to you?
Yes. I will never forget his face.
The person who chased after you into that playground. Is this man who sits right here?
Yes.
Why were you so afraid?
I knew he was going to hurt me.
Even now, decades later, are you still affected by what he did to you?
Absolutely. It affects the way I raise my children.
Thank you, ma'am. I don't have any further questions.
All right. I know it's difficult to come in here and relive something that happened so long ago. This happened in 1992,
Yes.
and even though it's so many years later, you had no difficulty identifying Mr. Smith, did you?
Absolutely not.
And even though you were 13 years old, you actually were part of the court process, weren't you?
Yes,
You even gave a deposition, even at 13 years old.
I did.
That case, though, did not go to trial, correct?
No.
And in fact, he ultimately served 6 years for what you've just described.
I was unaware of how much time he served. I was young. Them things didn't.
Thank you. I don't have any further